Well, it comes back. I mean, as you talk, I think about what you said, and the greater the risk, the greater the reward, right?
Right.
And, just to kind of piggyback or get back into that, open it up for just a second. When you think about the risk and the unknown of commission, like you starting here, you didn't really pioneer anything, did you?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. It was, laid out by people that had trudged through the tough grounds, to make it easier on us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've always said, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the best thing about this commission-based opportunity is that you're doing the same thing that we started doing
Mm-hmm.
25 plus years ago.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, I'm thinking new territory, same game, right? Same game, new place. So I love that you've done phenomenal being up in that new market, and we set out a long time ago to blanket this country with these little Orca offices and making the influence and impact that we can make, and you've done a great job expanding that. One of those other things, the philosophies that we've always operated with, is as you grow that business and as you bring those new people into this industry, we now care more about their success than our own. That's kind of a mantra and a philosophy that we operate with that continues to push down the culture and what it is that you've seen. As you say, it's the support from Orca. You are now operating through those principles for folks that you are leading.
Right.
What has that been like? Because I know those things, that changes things.
100%. And it's kind of like euphoria moment. Whereas when you start realizing that leadership and selflessness should go one and the same, and have to go one and the same if you want it to work, is when you really start to win. And last week we had a very successful recruiting event where I told every single agent to the T that what separates Orca from a lot of these other companies and agencies is that everyone who's in their position at Orca who's done well is only there because of someone else's selflessness and the path that was paved. And for that exact reason, they're going to do everything it takes to see you succeed. And eventually you're going to be doing the same thing. So when you look up at somebody who's written a bunch of business, who's grown a great team, they have not done it themselves. And it hasn't been easy, but it was easier than the person that did it before them. And now they're able to use that, and that couldn't make the person that helped them happier, So that selflessness is something that kind of, it has to be realized and has to be utilized, or it's not going to work. It's not about you. We say that all the time. Congratulations. It's no longer about you. It's about those others. And when your goal is to see them succeed, and you're going to do everything in your power to succeed, you'll be surprised, how far that team can go together. Or if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I think David Curry minted that quote.
But Seth, we can make this thing seem easy, right? Like, oh man, we've been doing it for 25 years. It's already, the road's paved for you. All you got to do is show up, go out and do it. But we know it comes with challenges. So as you've led people, what have been some of the things that you've learned or maybe have helped you grow as you've been in your leadership position?
I mean, yeah, I think, kind of coming from a leadership position is having to practice what I preach has really helped me. And actually, because best practices are what we preach all the time, and what we want things to do. But then you realize, well, hold on a second. Am I doing all these things? Am I actually making these changes? Am I getting out and knocking at this time? Am I as plugged in as I should be? So some challenges for myself, obviously, because if you're doing this thing fully correctly, it's going to take a lot of energy and effort. So putting that energy and effort in and kind of changing how I lead and how I operate, in turn has done its work and kind of set an example for the other guys. The Seth at 2024 going into 2025 is entirely different guy than Seth even going 2023 into 2024. Because that Seth was a lot closer to the other Seths. So when I fully bought in and had made some, lifestyle and behavior and and work related changes that was obviously a challenge, but it's for the greater good. Because, you know, I can stagnate and float along doing things one way, or I can make adjustments and changes, and see the results. Because everything in this business is so tangible that, you know, if you're not producing and your team's not producing and your numbers aren't good, they're right in front of you to stare at you in the face and say, what's wrong? What are you doing? So that's, you know, obviously a good thing. But sometimes that can be hard to see. And, you know, 2023 was not the year I wanted it to be. So I made some concrete adjustments and changed the way that I did things, in turn seeing results everywhere.